Hi, my name is Sunita and I work as a visual artist at UF Health Shands Arts and Medicine in Gainesville, Florida. The project that I'm going to be showing you today is how to make origami cranes. This is a project that I do every so often with patients in the hospital because it does not require a lot of supplies and it's something that a lot of people are familiar with. We also have a lot of sandhill cranes in our area, so it ties in really nicely. For this project, you need 1 sheet of origami paper for each bird. It can be any type of paper as long as it's thin enough to hold the creases, and it can be any size as long as it's square. The larger the size you start out with, the easier the folds will be. So your first fold is going to be with the pattern side on the inside, folding it diagonally. You're going to repeat that in the other direction. You want to make sure that your folds are creased tightly all the way to the edges and that all of your edges are lining up as you're doing your folds. Unfold that, and now you're going to turn the paper over so that the pattern is on the underside, which will end up being on the outside of your horizontal fold. And again, making sure that your edges line up very nicely. You're going to do that and repeat in the other direction. Next, what you're going to do is open up this whole piece of paper and hold it towards yourself diagonally so that you can see that there's a top and a bottom to the diagonal, and fold the edges inward so that it makes a square. And I'm going to show that one more time. So you open it up and fold those 2 corners inward and down so that your whole thing makes a square with the open ends of the square pointing towards you, like that. And you're going to just recrease your folds one more time to make sure everything is tight. Now you're going to take one of the 2 layers on the side and fold it toward the center. So you want a straight line across here with the point down here on the open end. And you're folding it right up to that center line, but not past it. It's very important not to go past that center line. You're going to do the same thing on this side with the top layer, folding it right up to that center line, but not past it. Now you're going to flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Now you have kind of a kite shape with your paper. On the top portion, you have a small triangle with a straight edge here. You want to fold that over in this direction and then unfold it and fold it over in the other direction so that the triangle fold is right at the tops of each of those edges right there. Next, you're going to open up these sides, and just on this one layer, you're going to separate it out. In that center where you just did your first fold on the top, you're going to open it up and kind of use your fingers to help it to reach the edge of that center part there. And what it does is it makes this boat-like shape. And as you stretch it further, the edges start to come in, and that's good. You actually want them to do that. And you can kind of help the creases a little bit so that everything folds down. And once you've got that diamond shape, then you're going to fix all the creases to here. And you're going to repeat that on the other side. what you're doing when you do that is you're actually reversing the folds. So you want to try to make sure that you get the reverse fold in the same place where it was folded before. So now you have a triangle on top and sort of what you can call two legs at the bottom. On the two sides that are open, you're going to do like we did earlier, taking the top layer and folding it inward, only to that center line and not past it. You want to make sure that you're creasing your folds really well at this point because the paper is getting thicker. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. Now, with the two sort of leg-like folds that we had at the bottom, those are going to actually become the head and the tail of the bird, whereas this part here is the wing. So if you open this up here, you can kind of see that there's a horizontal place where it's already been folded right there. You can actually push this up into that space, and again you're going to be reversing the fold that you already have in the center of this piece here. So now you're folding this head or tail. I'm going to make this the head, and you're folding it inside of itself. Now you don't have to fold it all the way up in between the wings. You can actually leave it sticking out just a little bit. You can kind of decide what angle you like. Then you're going to do one more reverse fold where you push it downward, and now switch again by folding this part here up so that it can make the beak. Now I made that beak a little longer than I needed to, but it'll still work. So again, we're looking at the tail here, looking for that horizontal line, and doing a reverse fold to get the tail, and you can decide how far you want the tail to stick out beyond the wings. And just make sure you pinch everything tightly. So you can either leave the crane flattened like this, or you can actually pull it apart by pulling on the wings to get a wider shape to it. If you want the crane to be able to stand up, you can actually pull on the edges a little bit and it will actually stand. You can also run a string or a bead or something from the center through here if you have a needle and thread, and hang it from right there if you like. So that is how you make an origami crane.